What's up, Flaniverse? It is Neil here, the guy from the thumbnail. Wanted to continue dropping some of my drafts, just kind of picking some that I think are kind of interesting the way they went down. First one that I recorded, of course, was one that I think I drafted horribly. Doing another one here where I don't think things went very well for me. I don't think it was necessarily my fault. Like, I don't think that I drafted horribly here, but draft didn't turn out that great. We'll get into it. It's not the worst draft, but not the highest likelihood to make any money in this one. So we'll get into this draft. Of course, trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the NFL season. If you could hit that subscribe button. All right, I'm going to get into it. You can see here, I'm player Q. I'm the fourth spot here in this draft. You can see here, my first pick, I took Jahmyr Gibbs. Usually when I'm in the four hole and those three go first, Allen, Jackson, Hurts, just, kind of as expected here. Normally when those three quarterbacks go first, I do Jahmyr Gibbs here because, well, for one thing, the quarterback's already taken for the Eagles, the Ravens, and the Bills. So I'm less inclined to take Saquon, Henry, or James Cook because I'm not going to be able to pair them with their quarterbacks. It's a little bit tough. You could do something like Saquon, AJ Brown at the 4-9. Sometimes I'll do that and then try to build out an AFC team for later. Hope that Mahomes comes back or something. But usually, most of the time, when I'm in the four hole and it goes like this, I'll take Gibbs here. The hope when I'm taking Gibbs here is that Amon-Ra St. Brown is still going to be there at 9, along with Jared Goff. And what I'm hoping to happen there is if both Amon-Ra and Jared Goff are still here at 9, then I will take Amon-Ra first. And because these three teams already have their quarterbacks, Allen, Lamar, Hurts, I'm going to make the assumption that they don't want Goff in that case. Like, it doesn't make any sense for them to take Goff. So I'll usually take Amon-Ra if he's available here along with Goff. In this case, things went a little bit different than they normally do here, in that the 5 hole took Amon-Ra St. Brown, the 6 hole took Saquon and Henry, and then the 5 hole took Jameson Williams also. So it took both of the top Detroit pass catchers. Now I took Gibbs, and both Mahomes and Jared Goff are still available here at the 9 hole. And because all three of these teams have their quarterbacks, and they have quarterbacks that don't have buys, they have elite quarterbacks that have a real shot at making the Super Bowl. I didn't think I had to really worry about both of them going. I thought there's 95% chance in 95% of drafts, one of Mahomes or Goff is going to make it back to me at pick 16. Didn't happen in this one. So that's the reason I took LaPorta over Goff or Mahomes, because my thinking is ideally I take LaPorta. I thought it was more likely that one of these two quarterbacks would make it back to me at 16 than LaPorta, because LaPorta makes a lot of sense on Lamar Jackson teams, Josh Allen teams, as you're building out the NFC side. So I thought it's more likely that one of those two quarterbacks makes it back to me at 16 than Sam LaPorta. Of course, there was a terrorist in this room. The 2 hole starts with Lamar, adds on both Mahomes and Jared Goff. I assume that this was an auto drafter. Not sure what happened there. Doesn't make any sense for them to add, honestly, either of them here. I would, if I'm taken from the 2 hole, I'd let both of them go by here. It certainly doesn't make sense to take both Mahomes and Goff here. So I'm kind of screwed. I taken Gibbs, I had taken LaPorta, hoping to get Goff at 16. Worst case scenario, I'll take Mahomes and then build out another Kansas City, Detroit Super Bowl. But they take both Mahomes and Goff, so I'm kind of left, scrambling to try to figure out what I'm going to do, because I have Gibbs and LaPorta, so I'm kind of already building out the Detroit side of the Super Bowl. So now I want an AFC team. The issue with this, when things go this way, is I don't really feel great about any of the AFC teams remaining, because Allen, Lamar, and Mahomes are all gone, and I'm going to need a quarterback on my Super Bowl team. So if I'm building out for Detroit on the NFC side and Goff is already gone, now I want to have an AFC team with a quarterback for my Super Bowl. And I'm kind of left scrambling. There are NFC teams that I feel better about at that point. I could still take Sam Darnold, still available, Jordan Love. I think Jaden Daniels, like a lot of NFC teams, like you can make a case that they have a chance to make the Super Bowl. It's much harder with the AFC teams, just tougher teams in general, and the better teams with the better odds go earlier on the AFC side. So I'm kind of left in a jam here. I think my natural instinct here would have been Chargers have the best shot of the remaining AFC teams. So I probably, if I were left to my own devices just to win one draft, not using the sidekick, I probably just take Lad McConkey at pick 16. I think the sidekick in this draft kind of saved me from myself to some extent, because it was suggesting Chiefs, and that's often the case. They want you to take players, like, probably a good idea to have players who are going to be good for you in the second, probably third rounds. So they really like the sidekick often will suggest Chiefs, even if, Mahomes is gone, doesn't feel like I can make this work exactly, but it's just kind of telling you, like, yeah, you're going to want pieces later on. Travis Kelce might be a great piece for the second and third rounds. So rather than taking Lad McConkey, and of course, I'm still doing like 4 drafts at a time while I do this, so I don't have a full 30 seconds, or usually if I'm doing just one draft, I'll take even more than the 30 seconds time to think about it. Don't have a ton of time to think about it, and I just said, screw it. I'm gonna trust the sidekick here. I think that it can get me out of this pretzel. So I took Travis Kelce here, and then coming back around, it tells me it wants me to take Xavier Worthy. So now I have 4 players to start that have that buys in week 1. None of these first 4 players are going to play in week 1. So at this point, I'm taking quite a lot of risk for a Super Bowl that I can't have a quarterback for this. Both Mahomes and Goff are gone. I've taken 4 players. I don't love this start going Detroit and Kansas City with my first 4 picks when I don't have either quarterback. Like, it's a lot of risk for no potential 5-player Super Bowl. But I went with it. Both Kelce and Worthy, solid plays for this tournament. Comes back around to me, and here I did take Lad McConkey. I think I actually reached a little bit. At this point, I was like, I'm not going to risk this anymore. Like, I need to figure out a stack. Neither of these 2 teams has a quarterback either, so we're all kind of trying to figure out what are we going to do from here. And I like the idea of going with Lad McConkey. I could have pivoted actually and done Terry McLaurin here and Jaden Daniels, because I also have the 2 Chiefs. So there are multiple ways it could have gone. Would have needed to find a Chiefs running back, and I guess at this point both Pacheco and Kareem Hunt were also still available. So that was another option, another way that I could have gone with this one. But I have Gibbs and LaPorta. I guess I kind of had already decided that I was going to try to build out the AFC side. So this is one where I could have gone multiple ways here. I ended up going with Lad McConkey here, reached a little bit ahead of ADP, comes back around to me. And at this point, I feel if I take J.K. Dobbins, probably nobody's going to take Justin Herbert from me. So I decided to continue building out for a Chargers Lions Super Bowl, which not my favorite, not what I'm going into a draft intending to do. But now I have Lad, I have J.K. Dobbins. These 2 teams, man, 5 hole goes, Mixon 6 hole goes, Collins. So neither of them can build out a full Houston stack. Kind of rough in this draft with that 2 hole taking 3 quarterbacks. Comes back around to me. I take another Chiefs player, which I don't know. I feel like that might have been a mistake. Now I have 5 Detroit, Kansas City players, and I can't even field a full roster anyway in the Super Bowl. So that one, I don't know. I think I probably should have gotten away from it and taken Herbert. That might have been an auto pick where I didn't get back to it in time. Not sure exactly what happened there. Would have been better. I think I probably should have just taken Justin Herbert here, because again, I can't build out a full Super Bowl on that side anyway. So either a Detroit player would have made more sense here to build out a full Super Bowl of Chargers Lions. I don't really think Hollywood Brown made a ton of sense for this team, but I take Herbert with the next pick. So now I've completed 3 players from the Chargers. I have a full Super Bowl for Chargers Lions. It comes back around to me. I add on Cooper Kupp. Now I have 5 players who are not playing in round 1. So Cooper Kupp was just an advancement piece. Like, I need to be able to field a full roster for the first round. So I added Cooper Kupp as somebody who has, at least has the upside to put up a big score. And then finally comes back around to me and add on to my Chargers stack. So now I have 6 players at least for a Chargers Lions Super Bowl. I also have, because I have 4 Chargers, of course, then I also have a potential Rams Super Bowl, as unlikely as that probably is the Chargers Rams Super Bowl. It's at least possible. So ultimately, not my favorite team. This is one that I don't think that I drafted perfectly. I also think that I just kind of got screwed by the room was the bigger issue in this one. So multiple things kind of went wrong in this one, but I'll show you the final team here. All right, so this is, let me take off the banner. This is the final team. So I've got Herbert stacked with J.K. Dobbins and Lad McConkey and Quentin Johnston. So 4 from the Chargers side. I do have Gibbs and LaPorta from the Detroit side. So not the worst. I do have at least a live Super Bowl here. And then I've got another one with the Chargers and the Rams. ultimately, I don't know that it makes a lot of sense to take 5 players from Detroit and Kansas City when I don't have the quarterback for either team. Like, I think I should have IKB'd this a little bit more than I did and not taken at least the Hollywood Brown. I think it makes, like, having 4 is fine, but I feel like I put myself in a bad spot to advance from round 1 because I only have 6 players available in round 1. No, 5 players available in round 1. So I'm relying on in round 1, it's going to be my team is going to be Herbert, J.K. Dobbins, Lad McConkey, Cooper Kupp, and Quentin Johnston. So I'm relying on those 5 players to get me through round 1. So it is pretty thin to get through round 1. And then it's also a really thin Super Bowl bet. So I don't love this team. I think I probably could have if I had gone a different direction rather than Hollywood Brown, taken another, even like a Cortland Sutton or somebody who has just some chance of putting up a score in round 1. Give me a little bit better odds of advancing to round 2 because I've already got pretty strong round 2 equity. I think with Gibbs, LaPorta, Kelce, and Worthy all there ready to help me in round 2. I don't think I need to add Hollywood Brown there. If I could go back and change one pick, I think that's the one that I would like to have changed the most. Obviously, my early picks didn't go the way I wanted them to, where I took Gibbs and LaPorta. Like, if I knew how this draft was going to go, I just would have taken Goff with that second pick and hope for LaPorta to come back. But I think in general, it makes sense there to push it because it was pretty unlikely that both Goff and Mahomes would be taken by teams that absolutely did not need them. So didn't go all that well. I thought I drafted better in this one than the last one. Still not my perfect draft. I would say the ultimate team, the team that I made here, is probably a C, and the execution of the draft I think was also probably I'll give myself a C plus. I think I did a lot of things right. There are a few things that I would like to take back. So I'll probably find a draft now where I actually draft a little bit better and like my team a little bit better because I'm starting with 2 that kind of went poorly for me. So maybe I'll find one that I like for the next one. But thank you for watching. Reminder, please do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Trying to get to 5,000 by the end of the NFL season. And of course, the link is in the description of this video if you'd like to join the Flannelverse Discord. We are reviewing playoff best ball teams there if you're interested in reviewing other people's teams or getting your own teams reviewed. All right. Thanks, guys. Catch you later.